Ignite your passion and know your why. When the why is big enough, the how becomes easy. When it comes to achieving any goals in life, with your business, with your personal life, your family, your health, your finances, any area of your life, what is most important is understanding the why behind it. But in the self-development world, it's very fluffy and it can get very confusing on how do you get clear on your why. I'm here to actually show you step by step with you how to do that. So, firstly, we need to understand two things. The types of motivation. One is what most people would call motivation. It's extrinsic motivation. The second type is intrinsic, and I call that inspiration. Now, the biggest difference between the two, motivation, which is extrinsic, means external from who you are, is something you have no control over. It's literally something outside of you. It might be your partner, it might be your friends, your family, it might be because you want to buy a particular car or some clothes or some nice shoes, or you've got some bills to pay. Now, there's nothing wrong with that type of motivation. I have used that a lot, especially when I started my journey, and it generally gets a lot of people started, but the challenge with it, it's not sustainable. Because what happens when that source of motivation goes away? What happens when you've paid the bills? What happens when that person isn't nagging you for that thing? What happens when you buy the thing that you wanted? That motivation can disappear. So what I encourage you to do, and what we're going to be doing today on this podcast, is getting clear on your intrinsic why. What intrinsically drives you and motivates you to do the things that you do. And how is it going to drive you and your team to actually follow through and build the business that you want to build and build the life that you want to build? So how do we do that? We need to get clear on our values. Now, I've actually got another gift for you. It's another full training for you on how to do your values in detail. It's about 35 minutes long. Now, there's going to be a QR code or a link somewhere for you to grab that. And I want you to go and do that outside of this podcast. It's going to go really deep on what your values are, how they show up, and how you can really determine yours. But with the short podcast that I've got with you today, what I want you to do, I want you to think about what are the most important areas of your life. It might be your family, it might be your relationship, it might be your children, it might be your health. It might be that you genuinely like buying nice things. You might like nice cars, nice clothes. You want to travel the world. You want to give back to charity. You want to support your parents. You want to give back to your country. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I want you right now, if you've got pen and paper, and you haven't got it, please grab pen and paper or grab your phone and write this down. I want you to write down what are the top 5 areas, and we're going to call these values. What are your top 5 values for your life? Again, I'll give you some examples. Might be family, relationships, health, business, finances, traveling, experiences, contribution, giving back to your country. Might be experiencing what the world has to offer. It might be buying nice things like cars, like nice clothes. Just what areas of your life are intrinsically most meaningful to you? They're things that you're going to think about a lot, that you visualize a lot, that you talk about a lot. What are those areas? If you need to pause this podcast and write that down, please do so. But write down the 5 areas of your life that are most meaningful to you. Beautiful. Now, what I want you to do, we're going to go a little bit deeper into that. Because most people, when it comes to achieving their goals, they're not clear enough on it. And again, when the why becomes big enough, the how becomes easy. So we've now got areas, and we're going to call these values. You've got some of your values. Do the full training to get a little bit deeper on this topic. But what you've got now is fantastic. You've got these 5 areas. What I want you to do, you're going to expand on each of those values in as much detail as possible. And you're going to expand on them as if you achieved your goals in the next 5 to 10 years. So let's use family as an example. What does your family life look like 5 to 10 years from now, assuming that you achieved your goals, that you've built your team, you've built your business, you've got the income that you want to have, you've got the wealth that you want to have, you've got the time and financial freedom that you want to have. What does your family life look like? Maybe you have all the time and financial freedom to spend time with them, to do whatever you want to do. Whether it's traveling the world, whether it's giving back to them, whether it's giving them gifts, whether it's being the parents that you want to be, teaching them the lessons that they want to learn, and being the role models that maybe you never had. I want you to go into as much detail as you can when it comes to this. Go really deep. The magic is in the detail. If you've heard of manifesting, this is what we're doing. Is we're writing things down, and if you look at the word spelling and spells, we're casting spells and we're creating the vision for our life. We're getting clearer on what our why means to us. So you're going to expand on all of those areas. So I just used family. You might use health as an example. What does your health look like 5 to 10 years from now? You've got the body, the confidence, the self-love. You've got the supplements, you've got the energy, you've got the vitality, you are the role model for your kids again. What does your health look like 5 to 10 years from now if health was one of the areas that you wrote down? So this takes a little bit of time. And when it comes to getting clear on your vision, always be adding to it. Whenever you drift off and you visualize and you picture your future, you're downloading your vision. You're literally getting a snippet from the greater source of what the vision is for your life. So be aware of that from this point moving forward, and always come back to your vision and always add to it. Now, if you're familiar with vision boards, where you might have like a digital or a physical version of this, what's really motivating and inspiring is going and getting photos or images of these areas of your life. If you've got family, you might have a photo of a beautiful, happy family. If you've got something around health, you might have a photo of someone who has the body or the health or the wellness that you want to have. If it's money, it might be someone like a nice house or a nice car, or just money itself, and it has something that reminds you of what your vision is. And then seeing this or reading this every single day is so crucial. Because when we're in business and when we're in life, life can get challenging. You're going to have problems that test you, that challenge you. And if your why is not big enough, you're not going to follow through with the how. Life will get too challenging. You will give up. You will second guess yourself. You will doubt yourself. And in the game of life, in the game of business, you have to be willing to push through. And if you don't have your why, your vision, your values, and you're not clear enough on them, it's going to be very challenging for you. So if you haven't already paused the video, I'm going to invite you to pause this one again. And I want you to write down and really in details write down your vision. Get it crystal clear. What house do you wake up in? What family do you have? What type of intimacy and communication and connections do you have with your loved ones and your intimate partner and your children? Get really, really crystal clear on the details. The magic is in the details. So pause the video now and get really clear on those details. Now, a really, really important piece to this. If you want to have the will and the stickability for yourself and your team, which we'll get to in the following podcast, this is what's going to solve that. Because when it means so much to you, when your family, your relationship, your business, whatever you just wrote down, when it means enough to you, the how becomes easy. So if you haven't, or if you do need to add more to that, if you didn't feel things come through you, inspiration, love, excitement, enthusiasm, if you did not feel those things come through you, I'm going to invite you to go back and do this again. You might want to go do the extra training that I've provided, the 35-minute video, because it's 35 minutes just on values alone, because it's quite a big can of worms. So if you didn't really have that click, again, go do the extra training so you can go even deeper on this topic. And then just expand and expand and expand on your vision. And you'll get to a point where you're willing to do whatever needs to be done. Whether it making phone calls, DMing people on social media, making videos, whatever you need to do, because that vision is so meaningful to you. It inspires you so much just by reading that. And you've got a vision board, or you read it every single day. You're constantly conditioning yourself for success. And that's what it takes to be successful, because success is not overnight. It takes time. The average business doesn't make $1 million until 15 years. It takes a while because you've got to learn skills. You've got to push through challenges. You have to make mistakes. Now, you don't have to take that long to make $1 million. You can do that faster with the right support, with the right upline, with the right mindset, which is what we're learning right now. But if you don't have that why, you're probably going to give up. And I've been there before as well, where I wanted to give up. And I remember looking back at my why, my vision, the father that I wanted to be, the example I wanted to leave, the impact I wanted to have on myself, my family, my friends, and the whole world. And if it wasn't for me having clarity on my why, I wouldn't have made it to where I am today. And I won't make it to where I'm going to go. So this is a very simple exercise, but it's so powerful. Now, I want to touch on motivation, what we spoke about at the start. There's nothing wrong with having external motivation, extrinsic motivation. There's nothing wrong with it. And use it. Use what you have. If you've got bills to pay, use it. If you've got pressure from family members and friends, use it. But the thing is, it's not sustainable. It won't last forever because it's from external forces. And those external forces will go away eventually. So having clarity on this is what gives you an untapped amount of energy and inspiration to do what needs to be done to achieve the goals needed for you to have that vision. Now, we're going to be going in a little bit deeper in the coming podcasts of how to actually break that down into actionable steps for both you and your team. So you can have the clarity plus the inspiration. Inspiration is just one piece of the puzzle. You've now got that. Add to that. Remind yourself of that. Refresh yourself on that on a daily basis, especially when times get tough. If you need to have it as the background on your phone, I recommend it. I have it in the background on my computer, which I'm filming this on right now. So I see it every single day to condition myself every single day for success. To be willing to go out into the trenches and to get punched, to take blows, to overcome problems, to take criticism from friends and family, because my goals and my vision and my values mean enough to me that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to overcome those problems. When your why becomes big enough, the how becomes easy. We've now got clear on the why. In the coming podcasts, we're also going to get clear on the how. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the next episode. I'll see you soon.